Both Coby White and Josh Giddey have both had very hot streaks over the last couple of weeks for the Chicago Bulls. The question that I'm going to present today is, which player should the Bulls build their offense around going forward? Let's talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Talk about running the game, Pat. Question here, man. Coby White, Josh Giddey, right? They both have had some really, really good stretches here for the Chicago Bulls. And we know that one of the questions going forward for this team is like not only re-signing Josh Giddey and what happens with Coby White long-term as well, but that balance between Coby and Josh Giddey. I want to ask you this. Who should the Bulls offense be built around going forward? Should it be Josh Giddey and his ability to create with passing, also his ability to get to the rim, things like that? Should it be built around Coby and his ability to go hot scoring-wise? He drives as well to the lane. That's where he's the best at. Who do you think should have the ball in their hands more, who the offense should be built around?
I think you have to talk about it in specific moments, right? I think throughout most of the game, you're going to have Josh Giddey with the ball in his hands. I think you have to have those moments where in the clutch or when we need a bucket, that's when it has to be Coby. That's when your offense has to be built around Coby. I think it's kind of a too blind conversation to say it should always be built around this guy, because to me, right, the moments where Coby White gets a little too, I'm Coby White and I'm cooking right now, are some of the moments where we've seen the Bulls lose. Again, I take that Houston game into account, right? Coby's cooking, he's getting downhill, he's doing everything he needs to do, starts to knock down a couple of threes. Bulls are 5 points away, just need a big bucket to get them within one shot. They were playing some really good defense. Coby pulled it from the logo.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? Wait a minute. what made you go with that shot?
Do you practice that shot?
He does. That's the problem. He does practice.
That's a great question, because like this generation, they absolutely do practice that shot.
100%, bro. So, like, to me, I think that it's when I need those buckets, when I need somebody who's going to get the scoring going consistently, and you just need to tell everybody to get out of the way, I do need that to be Coby White. But if it is a close game, if it is a one score game, and hey, we just need to go out here and make the right play, that's when I think you need to build it more around Josh Giddey. And the hope is that Billy Donovan, which he's shown more of, has that versatility in his coaching game to understand that.
Yeah, and I think the answer here, right? Like of course I asked the question, and the way to answer this is to give one answer, but I think in fairness, right, it's situational. I think that's the best place to be in, right? Like when you have two guys that, like you're laying out here, that in different situations you can go to them, and it depends on what the situation is. That's ideally what you want to have here, right? Like the one problem, and this is still the problem that you're still kind of seeing Josh Giddey and Coby White still have to figure out, is that both of them struggle in different ways when they're more off ball. So they still have to learn that aspect of things. But then again, like it's also not just those two players there, right? Like, so as you have players like a cutter, like Modest, who should be able to thrive off the ball if he can start getting that jump shot a little bit more consistent. You have guys like that it can help ease that with both those guys and their struggles off ball. So it really does come down to Billy Donovan, how he creates the system. But I think both these guys have been so good at what they do well that you can balance it between the two. And there's still going to be some staggering minutes, right, of when one's off the court, one's on the court. Yeah. And that the Billy Donovan, if this is the backcourt of the future, Coby and Josh Giddey, which they're not signed yet, like long term, so there's still a reasonable question to ask if, right? But if it is, then Billy Donovan's really going to have to make sure that as the coach, he knows how to read those moments correctly.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. You know, it's going to be, how does Billy Donovan navigate those moments? How does he navigate through the, okay, who's got it going, who's hitting at the right time right now? Like, I think the big question on, you know, who should the offense be built around really comes down to, as you mentioned, who plays best off ball. And oddly enough, I feel like Josh Giddey's becoming the better of the two off ball players. Like, because he's been able to knock down that three ball much more consistently this season than we've ever seen Josh Giddey be able to do. Because he's been able to, I mean, he's added that in. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if you saw this in the last game Giddey played in, but I saw an eyebrow fake that sent somebody flying and he drove to the bucket. I was like, did somebody just jump at a Josh Giddey eyebrow fake?
Well, you know what? Between the eyebrow and the hair, he should be able to have quite a bit of an eyebrow fake there, bro. So.
The hair don't move though. Let's see. I mean, the hair.
That was one of the funniest questions during media day. I know you weren't on the pod then. Like, somebody literally asked me, like,
"What do you put in your hair?
What do you put in your hair?" He was like, "Lots of product." I'm like, "That's that." First of all, because not only does it stay in place, but it also holds up to. Is he reapplying the product at halftime?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's one of them joints like Rob Blagojevich used to have. You know what I mean? Where, like, the hair be here and he'll turn his head, but the hair still be straight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, one of them Lego joints. It's concerning.
Let me find out, instead of having somebody bring Josh Giddey Gatorade, they're bringing him hair product while he's on the sideline. Like, yes, sir, we got that together for you.
Wait till them 30 M's come through. He finna have a full stylist in that mug at halftime. Josh Giddey finna be in the locker room like a pimp, bro.
You know something that would literally ingratiate Josh Giddey with the culture so much? Literally, coming into media day next year, he should have braids. Him and Kobe should both come in.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Josh Giddey got enough problems that people want to talk about him. Don't do that. Hey, bro, remember when Jeremy Lin had braids?
No, you remember when Birdman had braids?
That's the one scary. Bro, I got to give Jeremy Lin credit. Jeremy Lin had one of the all-time clapbacks when he got braids, because I want to say it was Kenyon Martin. He was like, you over there trying to take my... You over there trying to appropriate my culture. I'm gonna need you to take them out. He said, "You got it, champ. As soon as you take them Chinese letters off your shoulder."
Bro, hilarious.
And then he quotes me and it was like, "By the way, that don't mean what you think it means." I was like, "Oh, you just effed him up."
Hey, bro, that's the thing, bro. Like I saw there was like a whole thing on that where people were like, "Hey, a lot of people got these Chinese tattoos and stuff. They do not mean what you guys think they mean." It's like. Could you imagine somebody telling you that, like, hey, that thing you got on, it does not mean at all what you believe it does? You're just sitting there like, damn.
You want to know why? Because now these mugs are out here Googling the letters and they think that English translates to Chinese perfectly or whatever, and it don't. So you're sitting there like, oh, this says peace and love. I'm like, no, that says bull tongue.
That is hilarious, man. But get back on this, bro. Like, do you think that with where the Bulls are right now, with having to decide between, of course, Giddey and well, not decide between, but building out this new offense, do you think that can be successful? I know we've seen this glimpse, right? As a whole season, do you think offense mainly built around Giddey and Coby White and what their strengths are, can that be successful in the NBA long term? Or are we seeing right now, because it was such a change and teams are going to eventually adjust to it? Like, how do you feel about that aspect?
That was about to be a pause. I'm gonna take you a different route on that question. Yeah, that was about to be crazy, dog.
Yep. I know you as well as I think I do. I pretty much guessed where that was going. Yeah.
Any offense in this NBA can be successful, right? They're not playing enough defense for it to matter. Any offense, you put pieces on the court that can score, you can be successful. The question is, will Coby and Giddey's defense hold up well enough to make that offense matter? And I think that's where you got to look at it from, because to me, Coby White, he's going to be inconsistent, right? He's having his hot month right now. He's going to have a month where he's averaging 14. It means you have to have other people on the court that are going to stay Coby White having a tough shooting month. Oh, that's okay. You can do that. You can circumvent that. Is Coby White going to keep his defensive intensity up that we have seen him play since the All-Star break heading into next season? Is Josh Giddey going to continue to play the level of defense that is just mind-blowing that we've seen him play heading into next season? Because if they do that, then yeah, you can build whatever offense you want around these two, because the Bulls are going to actually be a defensive team. What are they, top 8 right now?
9, whatever. They're in top 10, right?
Top 10 team overall. That they're going to be a good enough defensive team for it to be, hey, Coby, we just need you to have a hot quarter. I don't even need you to have a hot game. Let's get this done.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's, as well as like, it's important that you continue to fill out, because while we're talking about like the Coby and Gideon off ball and stuff like that, I tell you what, you get a big that can catch an alley. I trust either Coby or Josh Giddey on that drive to be able to catch that big man in the air. So you get a vertical big man that could also change that dynamic as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll continue to talking about that, man. Next up, I want to play a game. Damn, that sounded like Saw. We're going to talk about which Bulls players and play the odds of which Bulls players. Which Bulls players are going to be on the team next year. But first, we got to get some message from one of our sponsors. All right, Bulls fans. First, we're going to be talking about Prize Picks. Basketball season is heating up, and there's no better way to get in on the action other than with Prize Picks, the best play to play daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. It's easy to use, available in over 30 states, and lets you mix and match projections across different sports. This week, I'm selecting Luka Doncic for more than 25 points and Jason Tatum for more than 8 rebounds. Prize Picks makes it simple. You can set your lineup in less than 60 seconds and stay engaged all game long. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25%, giving you even more value to your lineup. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA and get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Also got to talk to you guys about another of our sponsors, and that is Hungry Root. When it comes to grocery shopping and meal planning, I've had this ongoing problem. I just don't have time. Between work, life, podcasting, and trying to eat healthier, I was constantly feeling stressed out. I go to the grocery store, buy things I didn't need, and then end up with no time to actually cook. And sticking to my health goals, that was a struggle too. But everything changed when I discovered Hungry Root. Honestly, it's been a game changer. It's the easiest way to eat healthy without all the stress. With Hungry Root, it's like having a personal shopper and nutritionist all in one. They take care of my grocery shopping, recommending meals and groceries based on my taste and health goals. From anti-inflammatory to high protein and gluten-free options. And the best part, every meal is ready in less than 15 minutes. I'm talking quick, healthy meals that actually taste great, all delivered straight to my door. It's been a huge time saver and has made my healthy eating so much simpler. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box and a free item in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and use code LockedOnNBA. That's hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA and code LockedOnNBA to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/LockedOnNBA, code LockedOnNBA. Don't miss out. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
40% off a box. Shout out Zion Williamson.
I don't know, bro. He's paying for that morally, bro. Because like you got to always go back and people are going to be like, "That was you? That was you?"
It keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It keeps getting,
and they keep tagging him.
Bro.
They got to stop tagging him, bro.
Hey, the only other person that's oddly shaped is her, is somebody we all know in the Bulls community. But with that being said, Pat, we're going to keep that going. I want to talk about Bulls players. There's a lot of talk around the Chicago Bulls this offseason on players that could be moved. So I want to take a look at some of those players. I want you to give a percentage on their chances they're back with the Bulls next season. So we're going to start off here with Nikola Vucevic.
We got a funeral in process here on the YouTube side. I had to put the glasses on for the funeral. That was an unexpected body today. That was crazy. Speaking of an unexpected body.
Oh, man. Nikola Vucevic, what's the odds you're giving him to be on the Bulls team next year?
AK so dumb. I'll say 30% for Nikola Vucevic right now. I think that it's a foregone conclusion that the Bulls want to move him, that he wants to be moved by the Bulls. But it's the Bulls. And so I can't give you a 0% chance that he's not going to be back and we won't see Vooch at media day.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit on today's Central episode. And I'm like, everybody's talking about, oh, well, when we move Vooch this offseason, I'm like, y'all that confident in their ability to move?
I am not confident at all.
Like, it is what it is. I know that we have, the only way that I see that I would say that is kind of more of an absolute is that if the Bulls do draft a center, I do think that at that point the Bulls could look to trade Vooch for just whatever. Who got something for us, right? Other than that, man, if the draft night comes and any other position is called but center, be prepared. Nikola Vucevic will be on this roster next year. There you go on that one. At least to start.
That you actually have Zach Collins not going anywhere because you already got him on contract next season.
Yeah. You got Jalen Smith too.
And you got Jalen Smith. So you got enough to run out there. And I would assume they signed somebody in, before the season gets there. Like there's gonna be some pieces added.
That's rational, Pat. This is AK we're talking about. Like, I agree that, hey, the Bulls have more. Right now, they should, as soon as offseason, who wants Vooch? Bet, thank you for taking him. It is what it is. We'll take this partial second-round pick that's protected, and we're good. And I'm cool with that. But
what's Tony Bradley doing, man? Where's he at, bro?
He is on the team. What is he, on Memphis? Something
is
like
that. Is he
on
the team?
Yeah, Tony Bradley's still in the league.
Shout out Tony Bradley, man. Just bring him back.
Lonzo Ball.
75%.
Okay.
Him in the Slam magazine will be back.
He's on the Pacers, but Tony Bradley's on the Pacers.
Pacers. Shout out to Tony Bradley, actually having a career still. I thought he got picked up out the league. But no, I just the Lonzo Ball situation is one where AK has this weird love for Lonzo that he can't separate from the player on the court. Mm-hmm. So when you have that kind of situation happening together, I expect to see Lonzo Ball back here in a Bulls uniform next season. Does it make sense? No. Is he probably going to be shut down for the rest of the season? Probably. You know what I mean? I love all the people that say, no, he's not gonna be there. He's shut down. He's still gonna be. No, well, we seen this. 2 weeks. We'll see you next year.
Exactly. I'll tell you this: if by Monday Lonzo Ball, we have not heard anything, it's done. Just go ahead and it's done.
GG's.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Patrick Williams.
100%. Yeah, not even a chance he's not going to be on the team. I'm not even breaking this down. It makes no sense. Who cares?
Yeah, he's going to be on the team. Coby White.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Kobe Series. I guess 99, right? 99. Those are the players where it's like this. Somebody might come calling in the trade deal, but I haven't seen a trade that AK actually likes for any valuable players that. And I have no idea how you're going to bring Kobe and Io back long term, but AK is going to find a way. Maybe that's what we're going to luxury tax for. Just the mid tier.
And that's not to Kobe. That's to that. It would be a AK thing that the finally go into the luxury tax, and we're a 38 win team.
Yeah, 38.
Yeah, 38. I forgot where I was going to go next. Kevin Huerter.
Herter's a tough one because Herter's replaceable. Mm-hmm. He's fun, right? He's a shooter that you need. I think he's fun. I think he's kind of gotten his groove back. He's gotten his game back. I think he's playing well, but he's very replaceable. And unfortunately, right now, you have to find pieces that aren't redundant, I guess, on this team or that you can't easily replace. And for me, I think Kevin Huerter is, every shooter in the NBA. He's giving you a little bit more on the rebounding side than maybe most shooters will, but he kind of is just every shooter in the NBA. He's streaky. He has his hot games. He has his cold games, and he's been solid. He's actually been better than I thought defensively. So, but I would say 60% chance he's back with the Bulls next season.
Okay. All right. That's a fair one. Last player. Javon Carter.
You son of a 100%. 100%. How many years of guarantee he got left? 10?
Well, it's a player option next year. Oh, I thought you were asking a legitimate question. I should have waited. Yeah, I like, Javon Carter.
Up that option. Ain't it 12 million?
No, it's only like 7 million, something like that, 7-8 million. But yeah, he's not declining that option at all. He'll be here.
Yeah, because if he declines the option, he won't be in the NBA.
Or you have to take a vet minimum deal to prove he can be in the NBA.
Yeah,
got on that one. That's it on that one.
Gross. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in to the show. Love it. The like button, subscribe to the page. We're going to take a quick break yet again and tell you guys all about Robinhood. And on the other side, who's got a brighter future, Dalen Terry or Julian Phillips? This is where we're at. But first, we got to tell you guys all about Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you now can enjoy VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. Tell that. Never mind. With Robinhood Gold on your IRA, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perk of the high net worth are now available to any net worth, except eggs. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on your annual IRA contribution, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing does involve risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at 5 months for 1 year for your first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost, not Vooch, boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
Gordon Hayward was on there. Did you check that?
That's crazy.
Gordon Hayward was on the show yesterday.
That's shout out to them. Shout
Yeah,
out to
insight,
them.
man. Good insight.
I was gonna say something. In Robinhood Go, if you have eggs now, you are the high net worth. That's how much eggs are costing right now. Like, especially you got organic eggs. Oh no, bro, you getting robbed. I'm robbing,
bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I bought the little 6-pack joint. I ain't never thought to buy that 6-pack joint. I said, I just need this for right now. I need this for this specific recipe. I ain't got the money for the 12-pack. Let me get the 6.
It costs too expensive to have you used to just have like a good 18 piece just in the refrigerator in the truck. It's too expensive now. You can't have that, man.
And listen, I'm not buying the good 6-piece either. I'm buying the one where it's at a local grocery store where they just sawed a 12-piece egg in half and just separated the 2 cartons, bro. I've seen stores that got the 6 egg.
Yeah, they do that.
I ain't got that here. They just what the you talk too much about the government, Haize.
Hey, listen.
That man standing behind you.
That's crazy, bro. That's exactly what happened. And then when I turn the light back on, I'm getting beat up. There you go. All right, Pat. Last question before we get up out of here. Brighter future. Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips. They both have had different moments, I think, over the course of the last few games. Julian's averaging over 20 minutes per game in the month of March so far. Dalen Terry's had some really good defensive moments. He scored in double figures in the last game. I know we kind of talk about this every 3 months at this point, but I think the Bulls are still heavily investing in. Julian's only in his second year. Who do you see right now as having the brighter future?
Listen, and we always do this after a game versus Utah or freaking Washington or something like that
enough,
with Dalen Cooks. You know what I mean? I'm still on Julian Phillips. I think Dalen has some really good intangibles, and he always will have some really good intangibles, which means he will have a job in the NBA. Dalen to me does feel like that 10-year NBA vet that we just find out is on the Pacers in like 5 years, and we're just like, oh, look at Dalen, he's still out there. Hey, Dalen's Doug McDermott almost. Like, you got that one skill that will keep you in the league forever. And every now and then we see Dougie McBuckets come through and be like, look at him, he's still in the league. Look at how you doing that. How you staying in there? And then in that game, he shoots 0 for 6. You'd be like, yeah, I'm glad we ain't got him.
Yeah, and you know, once every 10 games, he goes off for like 18 points, and Bulls fans like, how did we give up Dalen Terry? It's like,
yeah.
Because the Bulls fans is still like, how do we give up Wendell? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what are you watching, bro? Like,
bro,
of all the things we gave up in that Vooch trade, Wendell's not the one that we missed out on.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Franz Wagner. I'm more worried about there's so many names I'm more worried about than Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah.
Dog, do you remember the play that got him traded? I've always said there was a play that got him traded. Do you remember the play that got him traded? When AK first got there was a game. There was a game. This is total side note. Let's tell you this topic. And whoo. Dalen or Julian, that's what we had at the end of the season. I want to say it was versus the Pacers, where Wendell had a move. I'm talking about beautiful move, got the shoulder in or got the elbow in there, wide open, look at the rim, rose up for the one-hand power jam and got blocked by the rim. Nobody in front of him. And they just panned.
It was like what THT did the other game.
No. It was better than that. THT had an all-time worst moment. But it literally was, they like immediately cut to AK in the crowd, and you could see his face just like, I'm trading him tomorrow. I think he was traded a week later. I think he was traded for Vooch a week later. Bro. It was so fast. I was doing a live call of it, and I literally was like, they're trading him. Like, that face right there said he will not be here much longer.
That is hilarious, bro. That is fun. Man. Yeah, Wendell, that's a failed experiment. And to think when we drafted Wendell, literally, bro, I know I didn't have a podcast at that point in time, but I literally was like, we got Wendell, we got Laurie, our front court of the future is locked in for the next 5 to 8 years.
Really?
Bro, I really thought those two were going to be so good together, bro. Like, I really did. You know, and it was copium.
I like Lowry.
I like Laurie. I like Laurie. But like literally when we draft, I'm like, we don't have to worry about our front court. We're good. We're great. Because keep in mind, Laurie was coming off a really good season the season before we drafted Wendell. I just knew we were locked in. I think I watched Wendell that NCAA tournament too, and I was like, yeah, we got us one. And
I was so
about 35 games into his rookie year, I was like, oh man, he may suck. But by the second season, like, oh yeah, he sucks.
I was almost in tears. Ringo says I cried. I did not cry. I was
because that was still the Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah. Bro, I was all season tank 4 quarters for Michael Porter. That was my slogan that year, bro. He was there.
He wanted to be here, bro. He wanted us to draft him so badly.
Now,
anyway,
he also don't look, like a world beater night in and night out.
True, but he does have a ring.
He does have a ring, and he was a big part of it.
He was a big part of that ring. Any last thoughts, Pat, before we get up out of here, man?
Nah, man. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat The Designer. And it's probably the last day this will actually hit. Make sure your kids aren't involved. It's about 3 days. You get about 3 days on a good joke, and then it's over with.
Yeah, make sure you guys are following me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, and more, man. We'll see you guys tonight after the game. Go Bulls, y'all. Peace.
I may have to rethink that statement. Michael Porter Jr. having his best career.
Still sucks.
40% on 18 points.